good evening. Welcome at Rangers Radio. Join me, myself, Oxchair, on the show tonight is my mucker, Big Southside. How we doing, Southside?
Hi, Ox. How you doing, pal? Good evening to everyone listening this evening.
Aye, good, mate. Good. It's amazing what a couple of goals do, isn't it?
Oh, aye, brilliant, mate. It's a difference. What a difference 10, 12 days makes, eh?
Oof, what a difference. Right, we'll get your thoughts, but I think it's only right, mate. It's tradition after a match that we get the view from the bridge.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to give you the view from the bridge on the Sparta Prague game last night. So we went into the game needing a 2-goal margin victory to get us through to the knockout stages of the Europa League for the third year in a row, and the players didn't let us down. We were expecting a few changes, but the manager didn't really make that many changes in terms of the personnel, but he definitely tweaked the formation and we looked back to our old selves to a certain degree. So we started the game very well. We came out of the blocks and we got a good goal in 15 minutes through Alfredo Morelos. And I think a lot of people were wondering if Alfie was going to start last night, but he didn't let us down. He looked back to his old self. We then had a few other opportunities to score. You could probably argue that Joe Ariba could have had a couple of goals in that first half, but unfortunately he just couldn't put the ball in the net. I think we then kind of took our foot off the gas a wee bit and we kind of let Sparta back into the game, and probably around the 25th minute Alan McGregor had to pull off a really good save and he saved his foot, and basically that kept the score at 1-0. And I think towards the end of the first half, we probably did start to let them back into the game a wee bit. They had a bit more possession and had a couple of half chances. But I think probably come half time, we went in 1-0 up, and deservedly so, and probably could have been a bit more. So we went into the second half, and I think that probably started just the same as the first half. We came out of the blocks really, really well. We looked sharp. We looked as if we were really hungry to get that second goal. And we got it. It was a bit of a Christmas gift for Alfie in the 49th minute when the defender made an absolute hash of it, crossed the ball over. He underhit it and it came off Alfie's head and into the goal. So maybe Alfie over the last couple of weeks might have missed that chance, but he certainly took it. Then we had another few chances. Kent probably should have had a couple. Aribo had another one. But we managed to see the game out, although our goalie was called upon in the last 5 or 10 minutes. And boy, did he make a lot of people eat their words. 2 worldy saves to make sure that we got that 2-0 victory. And you could argue that he shouldn't have been called upon. However, that's what he's there for, and he showed what he was made of. So we ran out 2-0 and we're through to the Europa League knockout for the third year in a row. And let's face it, the Europa League knockout stages, they're not for everyone. And that concludes a view from the bridge.
Well, thanks for that, Linda. Thanks for that. I seen what you done at the end there. Very impressed. Very impressed.
Ox, can I have that glass of Prosecco now?
You can have a large glass of Prosecco now, yeah. Southside, give us your thoughts, brother.
It was a great summing up there for Linda about the game. I thought we came out of traps quick, mate. First 5 minutes, we could have went 1-up. I thought it was a great bit of skill for Ryan Kent. He jumped in, threw it in the box, cut the ball back to Aribo when he hit the crossbar. and then Alfie obviously got his goal, mate. So I thought on the whole we were a lot more positive, a lot more balls hit early.
We played the ball quicker, we go forward quicker.
Wasn't so much side to side all the time, Ox. That was the thing I noticed. It was more direct and balls in between their centre backs and their full backs and that, and quick balls out to the wing. We sort of Kent stayed wide for quite a bit. Even Hadji in the first half was wide, but they were moving about continuously up the front line. Alfie was playing wide left opposite sometimes, you know. So I thought it was a good tempo. I thought it was a great result for us, and I thought it was one we deserved. Obviously, we couldn't dominate the game for the full 90 minutes. They had wee spells in the game, but you've got to accept that. You're playing European football, mate. You can't dominate the full game for 90 minutes.
I think they dominated the game for the full 90 minutes the last time they were in Glasgow right enough, didn't they?
Aye, I'm sure they did, mate. Aye, against a lesser team, you know. But no, a fantastic result for us, mate. And obviously, you could see Gio made a couple of wee tweaks. Like you said, the team was very similar. I don't think he can really move the team that much at the moment. But they certainly, I mean, Big Borner, he was bombing down the left-hand wing all the time, running by Kent. And it was distracting their players and stuff. So, aye, a lot more running, a lot more positive runs. And I thought it was a really decent display from us and a great result, mate.
Yeah. Right, who's Sean for you, Linda? And then Southside?
Well, I think Alfie obviously took his goals well, and as I said earlier, we all wondered if he was going to start. I mean, I don't know if anybody had him in their team the other night, Ox. I certainly didn't. I thought he'd have played Sakala. But I thought he looked sharp, he was full of energy, and it's just what we've been waiting, I think, you know, for him to give that sort of display. So I thought he played very well. Bassey, as Southside said, he had a great game. He just stuck to his defending, didn't he? And, you know, he didn't really make any mistakes. And I thought he covered over quite well for Bourne at times. And I don't know whether people agree, but the last time I think he had Balogun beside him, didn't he, the Sparta? So probably having Connor Golson there would have helped too. And obviously McGregor pulled out the two brilliant saves.
I don't think Bassey will get the headlines because McGregor saved Morelos' goal, but because we were a bit worried about him, I actually gave him man of the match. Young boy, very inexperienced, really, getting in and playing in a European tie, big tie circumstances. I thought he was excellent, Linda.
Aye, definitely. Just felt, as I said, he first and foremost, he defended properly. And I thought, like, you know, he was strong in the tackle. He was, you know, he doesn't get brushed off the ball easily. I thought he used the ball quite well too, Ox. You know, he had a couple of really good passes, and sometimes he just offloaded it and gave it to the people further forward. But as I say, I did think he had a great game, and also obviously McGregor pulling off the two saves at the end. And we were wondering if he was going to start. So that was kind of the three players that stood out for me. But I did think that most of them got pass marks, Ox.
Yeah, aye. Southside.
Aye, similar to yourselves, the way you've described it there. I thought Alan McGregor obviously pulling off 2 or 3 good saves. Calvin Bassey looked a sort of different player for the last time that he played at centre-back. And I think maybe Connor Golston talked him through it more because obviously he was missing. Because he does organise Golston, he does a lot of talking. So I thought Bassey played really well in the centre-back position. I thought Hadji and Aribo, it spells in the game as well, mate. Had some good flicks and some good touches. Ryan Kent obviously caused him a lot of problems, and he probably should have scored early in the second half when he was right through with only the goalkeeper a beat. So they were a stick-out, mate, the players that we've spoke about. But apart from that, I thought it was generally a good team performance.
Aye. Linda, after the first 2 games, no points. Did you think we'd get through?
No. Probably not. I mean, I think it's also just because of the way that we've been playing and round about those 2 defeats, we were still looking for us to kick on in domestic campaign. But no, absolutely not. With a game to spare as well. So they've absolutely turned it around, and you know, I think I saw some stats today as well about this coefficient, Ox, too, and there's not enough getting made about that. You know, and
You mean it's not in the Scottish media that a team's went from 192nd to 41st in Europe and are miles in front of any other team in Scotland?
absolutely, you've just hit the nail on the head.
Oh, I can't believe that's now the press. I know that Storm that's coming in might have took a bit of the headlines, but I thought that'd be the front page, you know.
Yes, and you'd actually think it was a certain other team that went through and we'd get put out when you look at some of the player
You mean the
ratings,
team that's
etc.
lost the most goals in the competition?
Yes.
Yeah, but their goal is superb. All right, okay. I don't know what you're talking about on that, but
I
carry
know,
on.
absolutely. But no, you wouldn't have thought that we would have got through. We were all worried, I think, in terms of the progression in the Europa League. But certainly the players have really done very well, and that performance last night was a real tonic for us, I think, as a support.
All right. Same question you Southside, then I'm going to give you a hard one.
I think you've got to obviously hope that you're still going to qualify. It was a massive uphill struggle at that point when you're 2 games done, you know. But it just shows you if you keep grinding away at it and you get the right results, mate, you can get yourself in a good position, which we've managed to do. And the great thing is we're in Europe after Christmas, you know. It gives us all something to look forward to, and maybe a wee bit of a glamour tie against a Champions League team, the way it's going to work out for us. But
got the potential teams here as we stand just now, yeah. Zenit, Sevilla, Atalanta, Benfica, Sheriff, Dortmund, Milan, and RB Leipzig. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there's some decent teams in there as we stand this now, yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
You know, but aye, all right, okay, that's the easy ones. I've got a question for you, and it's open to anybody who wants to phone in as well, right? We know what's happened in the last 6
Just to
days.
confirm, you'd like to call and
we know what's happened in the last 6 days. But what game was it more important for us to win? Sunday's game or Thursday night's game? 2-0. Yeah. On you go, ladies first.
You can't say both. Thursday night was the important one because of the revenue. Absolutely.
Right, okay. Well, it was more important for the club.
Yes.
Would you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I get that. I understand that. I've got a funny feeling my big mate might be in a different camp Southside.
I think for prestige and getting a trophy in Scotland and getting this kick-started, I think the cup was quite obviously financially for the club. Europe is a big one, but we have put ourselves on the map. So I think domestically we let ourselves down by not getting to the final, mate. You know, that was just my own opinion on it. But you know, everybody's have their own opinion. But
no, not at all. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer.
No, it's one of the questions, isn't it? You'd love to have been in the two, competed in the two, like we've through, and then obviously battered them in the semi-final. But I think a domestic cup would have gave us all a boost, you know. Although it's good to still be in Europe, but I think getting to the final and that and battering them would have been a right good boost for the club, and getting a domestic trophy straight away before the new year comes in, you know, would have been good for us.
Right, I think we'll get these phone lines open if it's all right with you two superstars.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, you mentioned finance, Linda. Just put it in context how important Europe is.
Well, if you look at what we've in prize money this year, Ox, it's just over £5 million in terms of qualifying for the last 32. So I think it's probably slightly reduced in terms of the amounts that you get, just probably because of the pandemic, etc. And I think we also got a 10-year coefficient payment as well. I think it was like 780,000. So if you look at that, that's why Europe is so important. And the difference between getting into the Conference League and the Europa League is going forward, the prize money is actually double. So if nobody get too far ahead, Ox, but see if we get through to the last 16, the Europa League, we would get £1 million for that, and you're only getting half of that for in the Conference League.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
When Foxy's got a jingle, he's just got to play with it. Southside Finance.
It's great. It's great for the club, mate. And for the last few years, we've managed to get finance throughout, by competing in Europe and obviously getting into the group stages. And it's obviously put the club back on the map in Europe. We've been missing for so long and been out the competition. But that's always going to be something for the club going forward, is competing in Europe and generating the money, mate. But I think we really need to have a domestic trophy as well, you know. We really need to get that in the bag, as well as obviously we're going to accept that we're going to win the league this year. That's what we're all expecting. But to add another wee trophy with that, mate, would be a wee bonus this season, you know. So hopefully it'll be the Scottish Cup, mate.
I get that. I mean, I wasn't disappointed as anybody, but if I'm the board of directors, I think I'm happier with last night, you know, because of revenue, prestige, and maybe the sponsorship deals outside, you know.
Aye, mate, 100%. Obviously, the club will always look to generate the money for the European competition, because it's where we make the most money. So, aye, great for the club, puts us back in the map in Europe, like I've said, and it's great for the board and the club as a whole to generate money, you know.
Yeah. Right, okay, I'll tell you what we're going to hear. We're going to hear from your manager, Giovanni van Bronckhorst. Wonder, it just seems as if it's actually been seamless when you think it was only about 17 days ago or the change had happened, yeah?
Yeah, you just feel as if he's been here for weeks rather than days, don't you? As you say, he's fitted in, and he just looks as if he belongs. I don't want to over exaggerate that, but he does. It's so natural for him as well, and I'm delighted to have him.
I'll tell you another one. I think Roy Mackay, he's bought into it, you know. Yeah,
definitely, and I don't think they'll suffer fools gladly either. You know, I think there's just wee snippets coming out in terms of training, etc. I mean, these are guys that have done it all in football. So if the players are looking for people to look up to, they've got that in abundance with this new management team. They certainly have.
Good to have at least one Mackay at Ibrox, I'll tell you. Right, okay. Get yourself on mute, and we're going to hear from your manager, Giovanni van Bronckhorst.
No, we had no injuries yesterday. You know, I think the players had the normal recovery today, so I think we will have the same players we had yesterday for Sunday, and Roof and Balogun will not be ready to play. Hopefully, I think Roof sooner than Balogun.
The club have announced today that Dave Vosh will be joining as your assistant manager. What was it about him that made him such an attractive candidate for the role?
Well, I spoke with Dave, a couple of times this year in looking for potential new assistants of mine, and I heard really good things about him in the youth setup of Ajax, also with the Royal Association. So I wanted to talk to him and see how he thinks about football, how we develop his players, and it's a very young coach, very talented, and I saw in him a good assistant for me, because I think he will help me with developing the squad, developing the players also individually, and I'm really happy with him joining me with this club.
Giovanni, obviously a great result last night. How pleased were you with how the players have adapted in just a few days working with you?
Well, I think they adapted really well. We only had 2 days with them, 2 training sessions, some meetings, some videos. So those were the moments I could tell them the way I wanted to play. Yesterday, the game plan, what we had to do when we had the ball, the transition moments, how we should defend, and they did really well, in their focus in all the sessions, and of course in the game when your game plan is good and you dominate the game, you create many chances, and eventually wanted the result we all hoped for before, 2-goal difference, and that meant we are through to the next round, which is very important for all of us to be involved in Europe also after the break. So it was a good night for all of us.
It is a quick turnaround in a very different game on Sunday away to Livingston. How important is the players that they keep this momentum going into that game?
Well, it's very important. Of course, it will give us confidence for the next games. So it's always, with 2 days in between. So today is all focused in recovery. We could have trained some extra with the players who didn't play yesterday or not as much. And then, we all prepared for tomorrow when we're focusing on Livingston for Sunday. So then it starts all over again. So the Prague game is gone, and now the same preparation we have to do for the next game.
And Giovanni, I thought one of the changes that you referenced yesterday was the width and possession. How important is it for you as a coach that your teams always really stretch the pitch, and how important will that be domestically when teams are perhaps sitting in against you and trying to restrict your team?
Yeah, I think for me that's very important to play with the whole width, because it makes it more difficult to defend, especially the qualities we have within the team with wingers who are very fast, they have a lot of pace, they're very good in the 1-against-ones. Of course, the right moments the fullbacks can join also is one of their strengths, no matter if it's left or right. So it all has to be synchronized, and I think we can create a lot of danger in those areas.
And just ask as well about Joe Aribo. Obviously, he played behind Alfredo Morelos yesterday, could have had a couple of goals. His movement was very good. Do you think that central role will end up being his best under you, or do you think he could also come off the right and do a good job from you from there?
Well, he can do both. Of course, he at times of the game he would play on the more on the wings. When Haji came inside. So I'm really fond of that we take the positions on the pitch to being dangerous. And but Aribo did really well. He was always there to be dangerous in the box. When we were dominating the wide areas, we had enough bodies in the box to score goals, and Aribe had some good chances. So if he was more clinical, he could have scored 1 or 2 times. But for me, the most important thing, what I like to see is also the attacking midfielders joining the strikers to be in the box and to try to score.
Last night you played Alfie a lot more directly than he perhaps played under Steven Gerrard, who had given him instructions at times to draw people wide, to hold the ball up. Is that how you intend to play him as an out-and-out striker?
Well, of course, for yesterday's game, he was very important in being, like a target man, but really close to the box. Of course, when we play also with the wide players, when they have their actions and 1-against-ones, I want Alfredo to be in the box because he's a very good finisher. And so yesterday we needed him in the box, and maybe in other games we maybe need him in other areas. I don't know, but today our mission was to create as much chance as we could, and of course you want your striker then to be in the box.
In terms of Nathan Patterson coming on as a substitute, was that to give him a spell? Was that to rest Hadji, or were there tactical reasons for that substitution?
Yeah, it was also tactical because the way Prague played with the left fullback quite offensive. So eventually my Hadji would play more as a fullback than a winger, and I thought with bringing in Patterson, who's a more natural right defender, he could protect that area a little bit better, and also we kept our pace in the transition moments because Pedersen naturally wants to go forward as well. So it was a change I think was needed in the game. First defensively a bit more solid, but then keeping your transition moments there with the pace Nathan also has.
Hi, Giovanni. I was just wondering, you mentioned on Monday, you wanted to see that reaction and that hunger from the players and everyone moving as one. Considering the performance last night and the reaction you got from your players last night, I just wonder how encouraged you are by the reaction of the squad moving forward, and if it all clicks, do you think you're on for something special here this season?
Well, I think, as I said before, I'm a coach and I was a player who was always competing at the top level, and a win was always normal. You had to win games, you had to win prizes. That's the aim you have as a player, but also for me as a manager. So my task is to make sure that we keep that drive and keep that hunger, and how do you call it? Hunger, passion, drive to be successful. You have to have that every game. And then, Thursday we showed that, but we have to show it on Sunday again because, the Prague game is over. Now we're looking forward in competing also for the league again on Sunday, and we have to do it all over again. So, as I said before, happy with the results. Take our recovery today, and tomorrow we prepare for Livingston, but with the same intentions we had yesterday.
And I think it's now 1 week since you were announced as the Rangers manager. Can you sum up how this week has been in terms of a emotional roller coaster for you and your family coming over? How has it been for you this first week as Rangers manager?
Well, it's been very hectic. Of course, coming in last week, it was a quite busy schedule. With all the things we had to do, the work permits, the contracts, the staff. So for us, it was very busy the last days. Also, with preparing the team for Prague. We only had 2 days, but there were long days. But that's normal when you're in a busy schedule. Even more busier when you change countries and change the environment. But everyone within the club were really helpful in making sure we were comfortable. So I hope to have a normal weeks ahead. So when we're settled in, it would be much easier, and we can concentrate on preparing the team for the games.
I was enjoying that. He's back with us, people.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think once again we've got a guy who's very, very honest, Linda. Obviously, I think when we get a blip in the road, I don't think he'll throw people on the bus, but he'll say what's what. That's the impression I've got already.
Yeah, I think so. And he's constantly saying that it's early doors, and I don't think he was going to come in there and just make total wholesale changes either. I know there was a lot of calls for maybe Tav to get dropped last night, Ox, but we were talking about what that would do for example, Tav's confidence. So I think his man management stuff will be good too. But yeah, it was it's refreshing, and there was a nice picture as well. His wife and his son in the stand celebrating.
They looked delighted, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely.
Good evening, Ox.
Good evening, Tommy. We'll be joined by Tommy. How are we doing?
Yep, good. Good evening, Linda. Good evening, Southside.
Hey,
Evening, Tommy.
I thought that was one of the better games of the season there last night, Ox. We were brilliant.
From a low base, I wouldn't argue with that, Tommy. Yes, it's up there. It's Southside.
Aye, Tommy, I think it was a wee bit refreshing last night. You see a lot of players doing a lot more running off the ball, eh? I mean, Big Borna was bombing down that flank when Kent was on the ball on the left-hand side and that, and Tav was getting forward. So I think there was a lot of positives last night, Tommy, although it was wee steps with the same squad and stuff, but it was good to see, and it was a great result for us in the end, eh?
Do you think, though, Southside, that some of them players last night could have been trying to put themselves in the shop window for January?
I don't, Tommy, I'll be honest, I don't see us maybe selling too many players in January. This is just my own personal opinion. I don't think, we might sell one, maybe, but I think we'll hold the nucleus of the team until the end of the season, mate. That's just my own personal opinion. I don't think there'll be a mad fire sale in January, Tommy. I don't see it really, you know.
If we'd had the sale on Monday morning, there'd been a few.
Well, we watched the game in Blackpool, Ox, and you think, when you watch the game Sunday, and you think that was near enough the same side last night, and if you put the two teams together, you'd say, that wasn't the same team that played last night, that played Sunday.
I correct, mate. Correct. Are the donkeys still on the beach? Are the donkeys still on the beach?
The one with Ox, it was too cold.
All right.
We watched the game in the Gallant. We were in the Gallant Pioneer. Oh, that's where we were.
Right. Do you know what they have for their dinner?
No, it's there.
Half an hour.
Carrots. No, I thought they played well. Ox. I'm going to give them a lot of credit. I thought they played well. I couldn't fault any. I thought Glenn Kamara, Stephen Davis, Rebo, Ken.
There was nobody on that pitch for us last night who didn't get past March. Linda?
Absolutely, they were really great, Tommy. And the thing about it is that we don't want to go overboard, don't we? Not in terms of like it's only one game and they need to, take it, go into a really good run of form. But we were very critical of them after Sunday's performance. So it's fair, isn't it, that we come out and we give them a bit of praise because they were excellent. And they've not all become bad players overnight. They definitely haven't they not, Tommy? And they definitely upped their game. They showed what they can do, but we just need to go on a wee run now where we show some good form on a consistent basis. Do
you think Giovanni said a word with them individually and said, "Look, you're good players, and that you've obviously hit a bad patch or whatever, but you've obviously got it." I mean, Conor Golson doesn't become a bad player overnight, does he? Doesn't become a bad player overnight. Neither does Ryan Kent, and neither does most of them. I mean, obviously Sunday, that was. I mean, I still think that 2-week break didn't do us any favours at all. I think the international break done us absolutely no favours whatsoever, and the other players going away and whatever. And then I don't think it helped them, Ox.
Aye, but you've got to deal with what you've got to deal with, mate. That's it.
Oh, absolutely. You can only play what's in front of you, but it's like you were saying to Southside about the league, the Europa League or the League Cup. For me, I think the Europa Cup's more important because, like Linda said, it's the finances it brings into the club. It keeps us going up that coefficient. That keeps them going up and up and up, and it's good for the club. I mean, all right, yes, we haven't won a cup in Scotland for quite a long time, apart from the league. But I mean, the League Cup doesn't get you anywhere, Ox. I mean, you remember the day when you won the League Cup, you went into UEFA Cup. That you don't even get that anywhere in Scotland. You don't. So it's a cup that's it's not a meaningless cup, but it is a meaningless cup if you get what I mean. It doesn't get you anywhere.
I understand what you mean there. I get you coming from. Look, for revenue, there's no doubt Europe's more important, and I understand it. But I'm not trying to mask how disappointed we all are after Sunday's Southside, but you've got to put it in context if you're talking about revenue.
Obviously revenue is the big one for us in Europe. And plus, Tommy, it's getting us back on the map. You see where we are in Europe now, ranked. We've done all the coefficient for the whole of Scotland for the last 3 going on 4 seasons now. We're the only Scottish team left in the last 32 of Europe. Again, this side of it. So, but just for, I know what you're saying, money and that, and obviously for the club it's brilliant, but we have to get a domestic trophy along with this league title, it's time. It's time we started winning these sort of trophies, Tommy, but there's no financial reward in it. The same as there's no financial reward, really, in money terms, for prize money, what you get, obviously it gets you into Champions League, whereas we're going to go in this year directly, which is a bigger bonus. But normally, what you get for winning the league, a couple of £1 million, then you've got to fight your way into the Champions League, usually by 2 or 3 qualifiers, so... but no, another thing, Tommy, I thought he was good at, when he brought Patterson on last night, I wondered what he was going to do, but he pulled Tav to the side of the park and he was explaining it to Tav, and he also spoke about it himself. They brought on 2 subs in the second half, and what they done is they put the left back further up and they played him wide left. So technically they were trying to play onto like Hadji was out there and Tav. So it's good that either him or one of the backroom team noticed that and decided to make the change. If I'm honest, Tommy, I think he felt a space. I don't think he was great going forward in any way, shape or form with the ball. I think he felt the space and managed to nullify them a wee bit. But it's good that the manager noticed it.
Yeah, and it's like this boy they've just signed today, the boy from Ajax. I mean, he's there under 18. And I mean, if you look at Ajax's history of coaching and all that, and the way they coach kids and the way they do things, that could be a magnificent asset for Rangers Football Club. Because this guy has got it all, and he's brought the Ajax Youth Academy through. Ajax take kids for 10 and 12 years of age, and they coach them. I mean, look at some of the players that Ajax have had over the last couple of years. And this guy's obviously, to get him for Ajax, I think is brilliant for Rangers. I mean, it's for Ajax, he's under 18s, I believe. And I think it's brilliant. He's Gio's assistant.
When I was talking to Giovanni on Tuesday, he was telling me about this guy coming, and they call him the Fox.
Okay.
What are you laughing at? Right, who was man of the match for you last night, Tommy? For me, I'm with you, Ox. I thought Bassi. I thought he had a great game. I thought Aribo had a good game until they took him off, Joe. Because I thought, had he, like Ali McCoy says during the commentary, if he puts that in with his heat, he scores. Aye. Right? If he headers it, he scores. But I thought he had a good game, but I thought Bassi was brilliant because I think what you said, Ox, was right. I think he spoke with Connor Golson, and Connor Golson's told him not to go crazy, don't go gallivanting. And I noticed a lot of it last night. It's like you and Southside were saying, we didn't hit this square pass. You pass to him, you pass back to him, then back to McGregor, then back to. I thought we tried to play the ball quite forward last night, Ox. I thought we looked pretty good, and when we played it in the wings and all that, I thought 4 or 5 times we got right behind him last night. I mean, honestly, before they had a shot at goal, Ox, that game could have been out of sight. It could have been. The big Aribo had his shooting boots on. I mean, he hit the bar. He should have scored for a great cross for my mate Hadji. That'd been the second assist. You're right. He should have. I thought before they had, I mean, if you look at the second half, I mean, I know people were knocking McGregor for Sunday, but the saves he pulled off last night, Ox, the guy's 40 years of age. He made a double save like that last night. Double save. Not just a save, a double one. So, and then the boy with the header, I mean, that boy, he'll be thinking this morning if he's watched that back in the telly, the one that headers it wide, he'll be thinking, I've got the whole goal. He's got the whole goal, Ox, and he headers it wide. You think, that was a bit of luck we needed, a bit of luck we deserved as well, Linda.
No, exactly.
Yeah, definitely, Ox. I mean, as Tommy says, we missed some amount of chances. I mean, Aribo could have had a hat-trick, Kent had a couple, Alfie had another wee couple of opportunities as well, and we were watching it and we're thinking, I hope this doesn't come back to bite us. And then obviously, if Ireland hadn't been on top for them, then they might have nicked a goal, but that would have been a bit of a travesty for me because we were by far the better team, Ox, and I think you guys said last night 4, 5, 6 wouldn't have flattered us last night. I don't think.
No, nobody chances.
No,
is that
nobody chances.
I'll go to Southside and then I'll go to your good self, Tommy. Is that the most chances were created all season? And again, Southside even more than Motherwell.
We could have been 1-0 up after 5 minutes. Then we scored in 14. We created a few chances. Round about that, it's probably close to the Motherwell game in chances, mate. But it probably is. It's refreshing the fact that your wee mate Hadji, he spun in the wing at one point and Tav knocked a great ball or the defender and he was away off down the line, and at first I thought you're not going to catch this ball because you've not got a lot of pace, but it was a great pass, and it's stuff like that, Tommy, that was different from normal. Normally they played the ball into Hadji's feet and let him either try and turn or play a wee pass inside, but he spun off and he's away down the line, so that was refreshing, and I think that might create more chances for us in time, a wee bit more directness,
As I said, I thought we were brilliant. I thought for every man, the whole team even Nathan Patterson coming on. I thought the whole team, even and that would include Giovanni's backroom team, they did a wee bit of homework on that mob at the weekend because they got gubbed on the Sunday. So they've obviously done a wee bit of homework on them, where they've been hit over the top, the boys over the top of them, and then one or two other chances. I mean, their goalkeeper, he pulled off some cracking saves last night, by the way. And you think, Giovanni's obviously seen their game when they got humped there at the weekend, and he's thought, if we get behind these, we'll score goals.
I just thought we got the ball just a bit quicker, Linda, a bit forward, more direct. But also, I thought that the two forward players that were playing wide sometimes gave us a bit more width.
Yeah, you've been talking about this for weeks, haven't you?
When I was on the phone to Giovanni, I told him.
He told him Hadji's a great player.
I want Hadji in the team. Ox is going to be the silent member of the backroom team, Tommy. He's just not told anybody yet.
When I was with Van Bronckhorst, I just said I was on the phone to Giovanni. These are putting two and two together.
Is that Giovanni, the guy in the chippy?
Aye.
Don't say any more, Ox. It's a family show. But no, I think you're right about the width, and there was more players in the box at different times as well, and that's what he was talking about, Morelos, about how he wants him to play up top as our kind of focal point. And we were talking about that during the week, some of the things that we thought that Gio needed to fix quickly, and that was one of them, how Morelos plays. And obviously it worked, because as I said earlier, I thought he looked sharp and he was lots of energy. So hopefully he's going to kick on. But certainly we did get more width, Ox, absolutely.
Yeah. So outside that goal that we scored, did it remind you of a certain goal?
Yeah, it did, one at Hampden with 10 men. When Davy Robertson gets sent off, it was a Mr. Ali McCoist squared from Stuart McCall. If that's the one you're maybe thinking about, mate. Similar, aye.
Right in the bottom corner.
Aye.
I remember
just guided it with the instep of his foot, didn't it? Right into the corner. Yeah, it was a good strike. Just guided it in, aye. Brilliant.
Talking about people who always finish strongly. We've been joined by old Davy. How are we doing, Davy?
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Susan, Tommy, and always lovely Linda.
Don't listen to Linda. She said all those things before. She's just a pretender. And though you couldn't love her more, she'll lead you on. But then one day she'll say you have to part. Don't listen to Linda. She'll only break your heart.
I've always wanted to sing on the radio.
Somebody's blushing.
I wish I hadn't agreed to come on the night. I don't usually do it
You're a star of this. Linda, you're a star. And what I'd like to say to start off with is that your comments were very, very astute, very to the point. And just to give you a wee history lesson on the cups that they were played for was the European Cup, Cup Winners' Cup, and the Fair Cities Cup. That was the one you go when you win the League Cup, Fair Cities, or if you finish fourth in the league. Okay?
Okay.
No, I just remember Tommy was saying the League Cup used to be called the first. You get into the Cup Winners' Cup. That was you to win the Scottish Cup to get into the Cup Winners.
Cool.
But
thank you for the lesson.
Sorry, Linda.
I says thank you for the lesson.
No, it's not a lesson. I didn't use it or too young to remember the First Cities Cup. Yeah, I seems like that was an egg and spoon race there in Glasgow Green.
I remember the nights in Leeds and Newcastle, Davy.
Oh, I can go way back further than that. I can tell you. I was at Crafton Park. Rangers played for Lanark. There you go, 1963, I think it was. And they shoved the gates down. They wouldn't have been hard to shove them down because the karting part was fun doing it at the time anyway. But there was thousands round what they called the running track, which you wouldn't get away with now. But I could go back further than that again.
No. I think you've not quite done your homework on the Fair Cities Cup, Dave. I'm really disappointed.
Okay, tell me. I knew you'd went quiet there. You're away checking that out in the book.
I know, I'm really disappointed, Southside. It really rankles when people come on here and they get things. A scholar like Davey got something wrong.
No, it was the Fair Cities Cup. I know I'm right.
Right, you're right. It was the Inter-Cities Fair Cup, and it was all based on originally from cities. You could only have one team for one city in it. And at the start of it, you'd had to have had a trade fair in your city before you could play in it.
You've been reading up.
Yes. There you go. Every day's a school day, yeah?
Yeah. Can I just bring up a comment about last night?
Yes.
A fabulous result, no doubt about it. But I honestly think I wouldn't read too much into that because I thought that team were poor.
Oh, they're one of the greatest side we've ever seen at Ibrox, mate. But you've got to remember...
the last 15 minutes was a nightmare.
They beat the best team the world's ever seen, 8-2 in aggregate last season.
Is that Glasgow's finest, Ox?
No, I don't know. But they beat them, you know. But you've got to be happy, Davey. You've got to be happy. You can only play what's in front of you.
Oh, definitely. But, I mean, he's got to sort of look at that. He's got a chance now to look at what he's got and take it from there. Unfortunately, we're going to play on a plastic pitch next time.
This could be our last time on the
plastic pitch.
This could be our last time on the plastic pitch this season, Southside. Obviously, if Livingston don't get in the top 6, that'll be it. One game this season on a plastic pitch in the league.
Aye, mate, they're horrible to play on. I don't think there's many players out there that actually enjoy playing on the plastic pitch. I think this season we had a chance of getting rid of them because with Livingston being in and Hamilton had got popped to it in Kilmarnock, I think there was a chance for a vote to go through and we could have voted plastic pitches out, I believe. But I don't know why it's not come up or nobody's actually put the motion forward. But it's something that we should have looked at and try to get rid of them. Everybody should play in grass, mate. It's the way forward. It's the way it's always been. And even in Europe now, teams are getting to play in these plastic parts. You know, I think Basel and that's got a plastic pitch to use and stuff like that. So it is more common, but I don't know many players that actually enjoy playing on the surfaces, mate. So hopefully we'll get this one out the road on Sunday with a win, and maybe hopefully we'll no need to get back there this season. That'd be a bonus.
I think the one that United played on a couple of years ago, Southside, that's a 4G pitch, which has actually got grass in it. It's plastic and grass, and these 4G ones are actually supposed to be pretty good if they're maintained properly.
Aye,
I believe.
I think a lot of 4G. I think a lot of Wayne's maybe like for 15 upwards, mate. In the last, maybe going back the last 7-8 years, a lot of them picked up a lot of wee injuries playing on these sort of type of surfaces all the time, you know. But I can understand what you're saying. Aye, they might be better quality than some other ones, but I just think grass is the way it should always be played on, mate. I just don't see I can see the need for them, obviously, for to bring in money during the week and that and generate funds, but football's on grass.
That's what happens down our way here up south side. I mean, we've got a team down here called Worthing, and they've actually got the 4G, the new 4G, and you know that place of theirs is in use 7 days a week, and for 5 o'clock, sometimes you can't get in it. I mean, it's good for the club because, like you said, it brings in the revenue.
Yeah, I don't mind that, mate, if it's actually getting used like that, and fair play to them, but I don't know so much. Can you imagine Alwa playing up at Alwa every other week, you in their pitch, you seen the state of that, you know?
That's a mess,
aye. Hamilton's wasn't bad, Kilmarnock's and that, but a lot of players have took injuries over the years on the sort of surface, and it's no conducive to good football, I don't think, you know.
Are you a grass man, Davey?
Oh, all day long. I mean, that stuff should be out.
Well, he's for Paisley, isn't he?
I'm just getting that there. That's terrible. You're always taking a mickey out of the old guy, ain't you?
No. Everybody gets it, Linda. Everybody gets it, didn't they?
Oh, everybody gets it, Davy. You're no safe on this show, that's for sure.
I know, but but regarding the plastic, that shouldn't even be a consideration. Whether it's 4G, 5G, or G-string, it should not be on. It should not be a thing that you could play professional football on. That's a joke.
How did Mrs. Davy enjoy the movie?
Well, it was. You get some memory. I actually went my way around to the pictures just to check her motor was there.
Right.
In case she was sneaking off for a guy next door, you know.
All right, okay. Give you a night after.
She said it was too sad.
What was it?
It was a chick. Also, it was a chick flick about Princess Diana or something and all the crap that went on with her, you know. I know. You want you laughing. And she paid £8 to see it. £8 she paid. £8.
It must have been in the deer seat, sir.
Well, she was only one there. She says they're dead comfy seats. I says, I know they're dead comfy seats if you get a whole cinema to yourself.
As long as she wasn't in the love seats, Davy, you're all right.
She did. She came back there and bought me a coffee out of Greg's.
Good on her. Right, okay. Good performance. Not the best, but a big step in the right direction. But we've got a massive game coming up on Sunday. Linda?
Yeah, well, as we said earlier, it is just the one sort of reasonably good performance in amongst a few bad ones. So let's hope that the players can take a bit of confidence from it as well. You know, as we said earlier, they don't just become bad players overnight. Important that we get the 3 points. I think we're the early game, aren't we? So you want to get 3 points on the board. As the guy says, it's a difficult venue to go to. But as I say, 3 points is a must. And if it's a good performance, that'll be a bonus, I think.
Definitely.
It's all about 3 points for me, Southside. You know.
Aye, mate. We've huffed and puffed in that surface before, and we've had a couple of disappointing results, you know. So, aye, we've got to go there, positive attitude, and hopefully just blast them off the park, you know. And like you were saying, Davey, it was like a wee small step the other night, you know. We're no shouting for the rooftops. It was a small step in the right direction, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and we've got to just take the opposition that you go. They're a European team, you know. We're not going to dominate a game for 90 minutes in Europe, you know, not very often. And there is spells where you're going to have to take a wee bit of pressure. It's probably game management. You push high, you press for quite a while, but eventually...
You're dead right, you're dead right.
Eventually you've got to drop off that wee bit because you can't just go at it for the full 45. And a lot of managers have spoken about that in the past. And it's about game management for there. And there was spells when they put us under pressure, but at the end of the day, we held out. We done the job. We got the 3 points. We're into the next last 32 of Europe after Christmas. It's a wee trip for the supporters that can go if they get a chance. We can go and enjoy another wee trip away. But Sunday's really important. We want to stamp our authority and get to Livingston and get the 3 points. And if it becomes a bridge, man, then so be it. But the most important thing is the 3 points. It's the league, and the league's the most important for us this season. The most important.
Well said.
Aye, I agree with you. It will be interesting to see what the team is. I don't think we're going to have any other options on the left-hand side of the defence, Linda. Bassey and Borner, because I don't, but it sounds it. Balogun's going to be out for a few games,
Yeah, and was Roof the other one he said, Balogun and Roof? No fresh injuries from the other night, but No, I would agree. It's probably going to be the same back four, Ox. Whether or not he maybe gives Alan McGregor a rest, I don't know, because I know McLaughlin's come in for some of the games, hasn't he? But I don't think I would argue with giving the rest of the team being the same, apart from possibly I would maybe leave Hadji out and put Sakala in where he was playing. Just a thought.
I can't believe you're saying that. Any thoughts, Tommy?
I think I a bit agree with Linda there. I think you've probably got to rest McGregor. Big game of rest anyway. And I think they'd be between McCrory and McLaughlin, because the big boy McCrory has they put a foot wrong, Ox. He's boy's done all right when he's come in. Yeah, Sakala for Hadji, maybe. I mean, the thing I noticed last night in the walks, the players were coming after there with a smile on their face. And that's a big difference. That can make a big difference to all the players when they're all coming after there with a big smile on their face. I noticed that last night. They were all coming off, smiling at each other and patting each other. That can also help, Ox. That helps your confidence.
I just wonder, I mean, Davey, I don't know, I criticise him because of left, but it could have went stale with the previous regime.
Who's that?
Davey.
What?
It could have went stale.
Well, I'm surprised to see. It just shows you how G. Van Bronckhorst's mindset is. Now, I don't think anybody's seen Patterson coming on and keeping Tavernier on the park at the same time. Now, that tells you what that guy's thinking, and you never seen that. I don't think you ever seen it with Gerrard.
Once.
Did it? I don't know. Can't remember.
It was on a way about what Tav was in midfield, south side.
I don't think it worked last night with Patterson a wee bit forward. I think they two will need to compete. Davey, I think either Patterson comes in at right back. Because if you look at the right hand side of that midfield, we should be able to play a midfielder in there. No, Patterson, he felt, like I said earlier, he felt a space because they were putting two down the line and he didn't like Hadji being there, so he went defensive minded and he picked up on it. But to me personally, if Patterson plays, I'd like to see him play it right back, and if he's not playing, then he's on the bench for me. And the same with Tav, you know. I don't see any other way, to be honest, you know. But that's just my opinion.
You mentioned Tav, that was a highlight of the game last night. What about Tav's back pass last night, Linda?
I know. I think Alan gave him a few dirty looks, didn't he? Aye, there was a couple of wee ropey moments, wasn't there, Ox? And you were just thinking, come on, don't make any mistakes, don't give any goals away. But I'm sure Alan probably had a word with him after the game.
Sorry, no, go on. Right, gentlemen and ladies, get yourselves on mute, because we're going to have a tune.
I'll speak to you again, Ox. All the best, mate.
Here's Tommy.
Davy Whitey manages the best team in the land. Davy Whitey manages the best team in the land. Davy Whitey manages the best team in the land. And the Jazz go marching on. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. And the Jazz go marching on. John Greggy is their captain, courageous, bold and true. He just loves to play for the boys in Royal Blue. John Greggy is their captain, courageous, bold and true. And the Jazz go marching on. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. And the Jazz go marching on. Ibrox is their home, that's why I'm mighty proud. And if you come to Ibrox, you will see me in the crowd. And when they score a mighty roar, the fans will sing and cheer. And the Jazz go marching on. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. The Jazz go marching on.
Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. The Jers go marching on. Ibrox is their home, that's why I'm mighty proud. And if you come to Ibrox, you will see me in the crowd. And when they score a mighty roar, the fans will sing and cheer, and the Jers go marching on. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. And the Jers go marching on.
Thanks for that. Different. Right, okay.
Why, I'm here.
All right, Davey. I'm glad you're here, mate. I'm glad you're here. Southside, you don't see a lot of changes the weekend then?
No, I'll probably say no, mate. I think you'll keep it pretty similar. Maybe I had you, Sakala, maybe for pace or whatever he might see, but I don't know if he'll be changing it as much as the last manager used to change it, you know. Maybe a change in goalkeeper, but I'll stick my neck out and think McGregor might stay in the team. I think it'll be very similar, mate, if not exactly the same. He maybe swap it for the Wednesday coming up after that, but I'll stick my neck out and think it'll be very similar, mate, in my opinion. I think he'll keep it the continuity there, you know.
All right. Yeah, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
What would you do with the team on Sunday, Davey?
Well, anxious side summed it up. He's not likely to shiggle a bit, but what I think he'll need to probably do, and I don't know, I think Rangers do this, is they have a couple of games on that synthetic, on the plastic, before they go there. And I think that'll give him an idea who's more suited to playing on that crap. So there could be a couple of wee changes, but I would go with suicide and say, just go with what you've got, or unless there's anybody's getting an injury.
Aye, of course. They maybe said that the injuries of the day, but it doesn't always mean you're fit. You know, the knock sometimes take a couple of days to come out, Linda, didn't they?
Yeah, and I don't know, I mean, you probably think that he might want to freshen it up, but as you said, it's that surface, and you know, somebody like Ryan Jack, and I don't think there's no way he'll start or anything. He probably won't even feature because of that surface. But when you think about somebody like him, Mox, and it would be great to start to get him back into the team, get a bit of pitch time for him. Obviously, Stephen Davis has played a lot of games recently too, away with his country, and then obviously 2 games in a row there. But if you left Davis out, who would you bring in? I don't think you would put Lundstrom in there. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's the exact same starting 11, to be honest.
Aye. Tommy. Sorry, Davey.
Well, I think you might see Ryan Jack on Sunday. Whether they think that part's not good enough for his progress with his injuries, that's a lot of things you've got to continue in the contention with.
Are you a Jack fan, Davey? Are you a fan of Ryan Jack?
Aye, because he's a Rangers man. Anybody that's a Rangers man is my man.
Good man.
All the way.
Take that aside, do you rate him as a player?
Oh, he was coming on here until he got nobbled there. He was striding on, and he was getting his confidence back. And then he got that injury, and I think that's why they kept him for so long, because I think they've been prior to that they've been pushing him, and it was too early for him. And I think now he's definitely got the legs on him for whether he'll play him on the plastic, I don't know, of course.
I could see him getting minutes at the end, maybe Southside, and maybe starting at Easter Road, but it's a big if.
Maybe Easter Road, I think he'll get more game time, whether he may start. I think it'll depend if he picks Davis, like Linda says. I think if Davis doesn't play, I think Lundstrom, Linda, would be the one that maybe come in there for him, just in the fact that the surface is maybe against Ryan Jack. But if Davis plays on Sunday, then I don't know if he'll play again on a Wednesday, so then I think it would either be a Lundstrom or a Ryan Jack coming in against Hibs. But that's just my own personal opinion. Like we say, it will be hard to think what Gio's going to do because we've only seen him pick one team, so he might not be wanting to swap it about as much as Steven Gerrard did. In that surface, David, a younger players, maybe 20, 21 and that 19, they seem to adapt to the surface better than the players at the later stages, a couple of them. If you think back to some of the players we've had in the past, like Colston doesn't look comfortable on it. Joe Worrell doesn't look comfortable on it. Barisic doesn't look too comfortable on it. But somebody like Ryan Kent and Aribo and that, they just seem to take it in their stride, But the most important thing in Sunday is just getting the 3 points, no matter how we do it. As long as we nail the 3 points, that's what matters.
100%.
Aye, 3 points all matters, I've got a funny feeling McLaughlin might play, I haven't got a funny feeling, but I thought he might have played last night, but the manager got that one right under, and he got a few right that Mary has got on here.
Yeah,
that's right.
When Alan was called upon, he certainly made the big saves, because that's what we were saying the other night, wasn't it, Ox? He made some unbelievable saves last year, and we all agreed that perhaps a few of the goals this year we would have expected them to stop them from going in. But his instincts in those two chances were unbelievable, and I think I thought that in the first half, the one he got down to with his foot as well. So he stood up again, and I think he's maybe got a wee bit more time left than what we were saying the other night. But you don't know. As the guys have said, Gio's only had a few days, and he might just stick with the guys that have had the most game time just now. He might just put his kind of trust in them until he has a proper assessment of them all.
And I'm looking forward when Alan's finished outside, when he moves into the media,
I know. I'm on a few words into it. I think when he turned up for the press conference, I thought he'd be in the team. I think when he was sitting there beside Giovanni, I thought, you're starting, But we've said it on here, and we all said it. I love Alan McGregor. I think he's been tremendous for us. But I think maybe the last 6 weeks, he's looked a bit off, and the goal against Motherwell when the boy beat him at his near post and stuff like that, and a couple flapped it, the ball against Hearts, and a couple of wee things you're thinking, your mind doesn't look on the game. You look a bit slow, you look as if you're slow getting down. But the other night, he produced 2 fantastic saves, 2 together and 1 in the first half, what Linda said, with his feet, and that was big saves for us. So, we've still got a wee bit more mileage out of Alan yet this season, I believe,
Aye, I mean, we do. We react. We react when we have a bad game, a bad defeat. We tend to overreact. And by the way, I could fully understand the anger. And I'll use the word anger, Linda, on Sunday, because we did feel a wee bit let down. And if you build it into the circumstances how we got there on Sunday, I think the emotions were running high.
Yeah, as you said earlier on as well, Ox, in the previous shows, it was the manner in which we went out, and I think that was the most disappointing thing, because I know I said that the European games are more important for the club, but like anybody else, we all just want to win trophies. We do want that, but we wanted at least to get to the final. And as you were saying as well, if they had, we were absolutely run over in terms of, they were all over us, they were creating loads and loads of chances, etc. But it seemed to be that half an hour spell, and that was kind of they just went for us. They went for the jugular, our weaknesses, etc. So it was more the manner of how we went out on Sunday, I think, that upset a lot of us as well. But as I say, they just seem to just tug on our emotional strings just now, and I'm afraid that's just what it's been like since the beginning of the season, hasn't it?
Aye, I was looking for a wee bit of consistency, you know.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we're looking for. And we thought we had it. But it took the last 2 league games outside Dalcombe Davy, you know, and hopefully we get back to scoring goals and keeping clean sheets. Yeah, good combination.
I think the big plus fact is that if we're going to pass the ball quicker, get our wingers out wide, isolate them against the fullbacks. I mean, Ryan Kent was jumping by them the other night for fun. It's about creating chances. Alfie's hopefully going to be where we want him to be, in the box, right up the front. I'd said that ages ago up here. Far better striker. 2 seasons ago, he was banging in goals for fun because he was the main man right through the middle. And then obviously we dropped him to come short and for other players to go in behind. But you can tell by the way Gio's talking, whoever plays number 9 will be playing right up front. So, aye, mate, this is a league game kicking off on Sunday. We've got a few coming up. It's Wednesdays and Sundays or Saturdays going forward. So, this is the time to kick on, mate, and get a wee run going and let's cement our place at the top of this table, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And you come, Davey?
I totally agree with you, Side, but I was a wee bit concerned last night about how deep we dropped in the last 15 minutes because we let them come right onto us, and there was one there, the guy had a free header and a couple of the saves that McGregor made. That could have been a whole different ballgame. And I think Giovanni will probably look at that and just say to them, well, we'll be surprised if we Wright plays on Sunday.
Based on what, Davey?
His pace. And he's good at controlling the ball on that rubbish surface.
All right,
I've seen him.
Scott
You can't let the ball bounce, Schultz. You can't let that ball bounce on that park. It doesn't bounce, it just goes all over the place.
I don't disagree with you. If it does bounce, it's no, you can't predict it, you know.
It hits the ground and about 10,000 rubber pellets fly up into the sky.
That's not the best, mate. I'm not a fan. I don't think it should be in the top flight of the game, mate, if I'm being honest.
Oh, no way.
No. Right, come and join us. 0141 356 1972. Phone in. Phone the boss. And come in and join us on the show. You know, but aye.
I was there in 72, I know.
Was that 1872?
Well, 1772. Blackbeard took me on the boat. I'll tell you, that was some night, by the way. Some night.
I bet you it was, mate. I bet you it was.
The only thing that broke my heart was never seeing John Gregg getting the cup that night. That really was a bummer.
Aye.
That's history, isn't it? That's history.
It was a special night. I think Andrew from Leeds has joined us. Even Andy Boy.
Good evening. By the way, Ox, I've been struggling to move all day. All that humble pie I was eating last night, man, I tell you.
You're not the only one, Ron. You're not the only one.
Oh, I tell you. There you go. Evening, everyone, anyway. Linda, hope everybody's
evening,
okay.
Andy.
I think going forward, I think the next 2 games will tell us if the guys are starting to buy into Gio and all that. The 2 tricky games could be a swing that we don't want to happen if we're not up for it in these 2 games. So I'm looking for them to really, put it on the next 2 games. I think if we could come out of these with 2 wins, I think that will stand us in good stead going forward. That's the way I'm seeing it at the moment. Like, I don't know what everybody else thinks.
I've actually not thought that far ahead to Wednesday, mate. I've been tappies before I know it. I just want to get Sunday to away with 3 points Southside.
I think the attitude should be right, Andy. It looked a wee bit more positive last night, but it was a wee small step, and like you say, Sunday, Livingston, apart from the surface, that's the only thing that goes against us on Sunday, is that surface. But we've played on it often enough. They've been in this league for long enough. So it's just about getting the 3 points on Sunday and getting away there injury-free. And then Wednesday against the Hibs, should take care of itself. We owe them one. We owe them a few, actually, you know. So, I can see a positive for the players, Andy. That, like you say, they were coming off with a smile on their face, and there was a lot of running off the ball, and you've got to impress the new manager, mate, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what Tavernier said there, like, you know, in his interview, and he said that he found it refreshing, and the players found it refreshing, you know, what was Gio was saying to him. So you just hoping that they're going to take that on board, and it gives us that, where we have been still, it gives us that wee boost to go forward now. You know, that's what we're looking for now, aren't we? That's a positive. We're hoping we're going to get out of it.
We're hoping we'll go on a wee run, Andy, in the league. That's what we're needing, a wee run of games now. We've only got one European game to get out the road, and then it's full steam ahead in the league right up to January. So that's what we've got to concentrate on, and hopefully we'll just get steamed in, mate, and we'll just start racking up with 3 points. And when we look at the league in January, mate, and look down the table where the rest of them are, that should tell us exactly how good it's been and how far in front we should be. We should be at least still the 4 points, if no more. But we will be more, because we'll go Birmingham the 2nd of January. But apart from that, we need to just step it up, mate, and I'm sure they'll all start putting in a performance. Gio doesn't look like he's going to let them slack, mate, you know, and they've all got to perform, and I think 1 or 2 will get dropped and other ones will come in, you know, so. But it's positive in Andy. It was something positive on Thursday night for us.
It's not a bad thing as well, is it? You know, even if it does drop a couple of, you know, that, you know, they take it on board and say, right, I'm liking what this guy's saying. Right, I want to prove myself to get back in here. So that in turn helps the team if we're all thinking with that right attitude, aren't we? You know, so positive. We've got to look positive now. He's gone now, and it's a new era. So let's go and cement it, and like you say, get a good few runs going. It is about only this game first. We don't want to be jumping ahead, but you know, I think if we can come out of this tangent, 7 away games in this one, like we could come out of it, you know, on top from the day shutdown and all that, then we're in a good stead for when it comes back on, aren't we? You know, that's how I'm looking at it now. I'm trying to be positive. New Andy.
Can I give a big shout out to the people doing the Big Ibrox sleep out tonight and tomorrow night? Picked a right good night for it, Linda.
Here, Rocks. It's blowing a gale here, so well done to everybody that's taken part. And great causes as well. So I feel for them. I hope they've got a few blankets with them, because they'll need it.
A couple of bottles of vodka, that'll sort them out.
2015, we're on Mr. Fox done it. Georgie Logan, Mount Vernon, I think, as well. I think we raised about £8,000 for Rangers Radio. Yeah.
Impressive,
Fantastic.
Yeah. Mr. Fox done it. Mr. Fox, he ended up in the dugout. He's the only one that took a ball with him. Right, okay, so best of luck to everybody, and I hope they can get a bit of shelter in out of the wind, you know, and raise a lot of good money for worthy cause. Right, okay, aye, big game. I've not really looked that far ahead as Wednesday, but I'll be in Tappies, Andy, you're right, before we know it, you know.
Yeah. I think, you know, like I said, the right attitude there, you know, we've got a lot to prove to the fans, but I think they have a lot to prove to themselves, you know, and come on, stand up and be men, you know, as I repeatedly say. You know, we've got it. The players have got it. I think they cheat themselves sometimes, and I definitely think they cheat the fans, you know, because when they can go out and stick to the guns and all play for one another, we get these results, and then, you know, we'll go up in the major semi-finals and all that, and they let us down so badly. You know, that's the ingredient they've got to get right, you know, between that, winning and being up for it, you know. But we'll see. I think this guy, I really don't think he's going to stand for any messing of them, and I think we've had managers in the past, even including Steven Gerrard, that's had his friends and, you know, not being hard enough, not made the right decisions at the right time. Hopefully this guy's going to say, right, you played for the team, and that's what it's about. So hopefully, you know, got to be positive. No point mumping with gums all the time. As I say, I'm confusing myself here because I'm being calm these days.
Every time you go on calm, I think I'm going to have to phone an ambulance.
I know. It's well, we've had a bit of good news, so I'm hoping that we're going to get a good score. The father-in-law's out of hospital tonight, so that's good. Like, so I'm hoping that's the start of a good weekend.
I sent your big mate a present today.
Well, go on. What you done to him now?
No, you can ask him.
Right. Well, I will be speaking to him tonight, like, because he's on the vodka, like, so that'll be me with absolutely gone about 6 o'clock in the morning by the time he's finished. Kind of get a word in edgeways with him, but anyway,
I've heard that he gives a bonnet of sorry.
Oh, choice. He's there. He keeps pouring these big vodkas. You're no kidding. Like, he keeps saying, having one. Geez, I'm 60 years old here, mate. But keep trying to go with him. Like,
You'll be fine, mate. You'll be fine. You've still not recovered for that email I sent you, have you?
No, well, it was my missus. I can still see her laughing at the top of the stairs. Say, hey, Andy, you need to see this. The first 2 lines, I'm thinking, oh, shit, they're not even going to let me come. But she still got it on the phone, Oxley, and she said, do you want to have a wee swatch at this? Away you go, you know.
I couldn't resist it, mate. Sorry.
I know. I should have known better, right enough. But there you go. I'm a bit stupid these days. I just went for the 5-card trick, like.
I knew you would dive in, mate. I knew you would.
Well, I don't. As I say, I don't read anything properly, mate. I see the first line there. Oh, what's this carry on, like, But I need to start doing that more, like, That's just me, like, That's what it is. But it was a good one. I'll just think that.
Right. So, how do you see it going on Sunday, then, mate?
I get we come out with the same attitude. I've always think with this current crop of players that we'll have to come out bang on it at the start. We come out bang on it at the start. 9 times out of 10, I'll say we'll get it. I don't think we could come out in second gear or anything like that now. I think we've got to start imposing ourselves. And I think if we do start well, get the first goal early. We could have one of them days where it could be a more comfortable ride there as to what we've had in the past, like, because it was 1-0 won it in the latter game last season, and we've had a 0-0 in a defeat, and I can't remember us absolutely battering them up there, to be honest with you. I'm sure we did once, 2 or 3 goals, like, but I can't remember what it was now.
It was the first game last year we ended up winning quite comfortably, but even that game last season, it was a late goal with Morelos, wasn't it? Yeah, a late goal with Morelos. On the week we won the championship, wasn't it? That was the Wednesday.
That's right, yeah. 2 1-0s went there at the back end of the game, wasn't it, if I remember. That when the fans were stood in the hill, wasn't it, in the last one?
That's right,
Aye, that's right. That was brilliant, that, wasn't it? Like, shame that the fans never got in to see what happened there last year, but let's hope that now the fans are in, that we can actually see some of them scenes and some of them highlights and winning the league and hopefully the Scottish Cup, like, and the fans being there and getting in days back, fantastic being in the stadium with all your friends and all that, like, always be nice.
And for the fans who go to the away games, the European tie Southside, potentially a good clamour tie coming up in the new year, eh?
Hello?
I would hope.
I'll cut across you.
Okay.
I'll cut across you. I think we've been joined by Agnes. Evening, Agnes.
Hi.
Hello, how you doing?
Not bad.
What's on your mind?
I just watched that game last night. Just for the play at all. They just didn't play well at all. I'm surprised they won 2-0. And I hope so.
Right.
But they just didn't play right at all for me. At all.
Linda? On you go, Linda.
I thought they played better, Agnes, than what they've had. Obviously there was a big improvement. Big improvement from Sunday, but as all I said, it was a low benchmark, wasn't it? Sunday, I just thought that they came out, the blocks that we probably could have had a few goals early on. For me, it's been the best. I thought it was one of the best performances of the season. But I do take your point that the benchmark's not that high for how we can play.
Matter of fact, I was sitting here and I was on the edge. Honest to God, I really was. I was on the edge, and I couldn't believe. I'm not talking about Sunday. I might forget all about that. You might forget that. But it's just when I sat here last night and watched that, I was terrified. Honest to God, I was really terrified. I couldn't wait 90 minutes was up, and I said, no, they're not playing at all. if they play against Leon, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, the Leon game doesn't mean a lot. We're through, Agnes.
I know that. But it's just.
I don't think we were great at the end of both halves, south side.
Aye.
Aye, Agnes. I think, as we said earlier, we didn't play. It was a small step, but we got the victory, and that's the main thing.
No. I'm not complaining. No. I see all the victories it's gone, but it's just how you're playing now. How you played that, you know.
If you think about it, but I mean, if you look at how we've played the last wee while, you know, we've not been great, but we've still managed to win some games, you know. It's a new era. He's only had a couple of days to put his mark onto the team, you know. I think you'll see a big improvement come January and that and going forward. You know, you've got to look at it. We're the only team in Scotland in the last 32. You know, we're the only team in Scotland in the last 32 of Europe. So we're top of the league. We're 4 points clear. What more can you ask for now, you know?
I think we're asking for the... I'll take everything that's going. Don't get me wrong, I'll take everything that's going. But it's just last night, I couldn't believe I was watching that. Honestly.
You sure you're not going to get mixed up to the one that was on before us?
No. I said, I don't want to talk about that. They don't even exist as far as I'm concerned. Never exist. They don't even exist as far as I'm concerned. It's Rangers. I'm Rangers, you know. That's me. I don't give a fuck. God forgive me for saying through there. Anyway, it's just, you never done it for me last night at all. Honestly.
On yourself, Agnes. On yourself.
Honestly. I mean, I tell you, no, honestly. And they never done it for me at all. It was just terrible. It's terrible.
You set high standards, Agnes. David.
The only time I watched that crowd last night, and I loved it. I'm telling you, I watched them last night. And see the Sonny goals getting in, I cheered. Look, I'm not kidding you. I couldn't enough, you know. But I was just watching. Aye.
Oh, right, Agnes.
I was watching.
Your first time on the show, then, huh?
Aye. I put a video with the last. No, I just had to say.
Don't encourage him, Agnes. Don't encourage him.
No, seriously, I really am. I just sat and watched that. No, I just. Oh well.
Oh,
right,
my feet here.
I jumped out the fucking roof when they get beat. Oh my God.
I think old Davy's attracting a different audience.
That's his better than a pavilion. Oh, Jesus. That's fabulous. You're a star, Agnes. You're a star.
Oh,
you're a bit hard on the jersey enough. You're a bit hard on the jersey.
She sets high standards, so you've no chance, Davy.
High standards? You must be in heaven. You're not getting any higher than that.
Oh, dear. Well, she wants the team to play well every game. Nothing wrong with that south side, is there?
Oh, God.
No at all, mate. No, but she certainly got the bar higher. Agnes, I thought you've got to accept the result yesterday, you know, and we'll look forward to Sunday and hopefully they'll please you a bit more on Sunday then with a wee victory against Livingston, eh?
Yes, it's not all about pleasing, it's about getting the result. You know. Pleasing, we'll get to that point eventually. It's getting that game on Sunday's massive. If you want in for confidence, keep the unwashed off their back. Sunday's massive. And whether they play rotten, I couldn't care as long as they win.
Yeah, you women are hard to please, Linda.
Oh, Carol, it's just, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I mean, I did think we were actually all right last night. I was, apart from the last 15 minutes when we started letting them create chances, you know, you were thinking, are they going to get a goal here? But no, I thought it was one of our better performances of the season, Ox.
To be fair, stick up ragman shoes. It doesn't say a lot.
No.
Is that us still in Europe and Malmo are out? Is that right? Southside, is that right? I've not checked that out.
Near a farm, to be honest, I don't know, but you might be right. They probably are, to be honest.
I think they must be out. Yeah, they're out.
Is that the first team ever to get relegated twice in one season then? Champions League, Europa League and into conference, is that? Who did that happen to anybody?
Yep,
a prize for the winner?
Yes. That's another matter, eh?
Aye.
Hello?
I think we've been joined by John. How are we doing, John?
Hi there, Oaks. How are we doing, Igor?
Hello.
Southside, Linda, how are we doing? All right?
Aye, good, John.
Hi, John.
Hi, Linda.
What's on your mind, John?
I was just earlier on, you were asking what was the best or the worst thing that happened with either Hibs or Sparta. Me personally, it was like Hibs was a disaster. It wasn't great. It was horrible in part, but last night was absolutely amazing. And in the bigger picture, the CIS Cup or whatever it is, Betfred, whatever cup it is, it's a final, it's a trophy. Really, in our standards, our tradition, it's meaningless. Europe is where we want to go further every year, and it's been amazing the past 2-3 years. I think you said earlier on, 192nd to 41st.
Yes.
In Europe. That's outstanding, Knox.
And also, we've still got the progress needed to come in the last 5 years. Once that disappears, we move up even further.
Exactly.
You know, listen, mate, I don't think... I get the League Cup, I get we want to win trophies, but I think your point about where we want to be and as a football club is important. Linda?
Yeah, definitely. And John, it's probably because we haven't really won a domestic cup for a while, haven't we not? And we were all kind of brought up with Rangers winning doubles and trebles, so I can see why people were really disappointed. And as we said earlier, it was just the manner in which we went out. But a lot of countries don't even give a lot of kudos to the cups. It's all about the league and it's all about, as you say, the European progression. And up here, that used to be the be-all and end-all, getting to Europe beyond Christmas. But since we've been doing it, it seems to have lost its edge in terms of how it's reported on up here. But we're not that.
The best team the world's ever seen, with the greatest manager, have been put out 2 trophies in one season in Europe and could get the third competition. That must be some kind of record. I don't think that's ever happened before.
Oh, I know. Wonder how that will be seen up here, Ox. Probably there'll be another parachute. But no, John, I agree with you. I think the European run's more important. It's just the manner in how we went out on Sunday, I think, that's maybe kind of still rankled us.
Britain, New Zealand, if they go to that, they go into the Europa Johnston Paint Trophy. Carry on, John.
What I want to touch upon there is, like, every year, right, not for the past 2 years, like, but every year we're in semi-finals, finals. That's the Rangers way. That's your club. That's what we're used to. But I would have to say that in the past, at least decade, if not 15 years, we've progressed in Europe, that we've become a name again. There's teams that's looking at us and say, I do fancy them, where before they were like, oh, yes, Rangers, no bother. Look at what they've done, look what's happening, look what's on their doorstep, and it's all changed. I'm not talking about all managers, maybe we're moving on, we are the people. It's Gio's the man. But I would just have to say, in Europe, I used to sit and cringe and is there going to be a 1-0 tonight? What's going to happen tonight? But no.
Aye, when we were away to Sparta Prague, we lost 1-0 and we were all raging because we knew we should have done better. Southside, how things have changed, huh?
Aye, I think Stevie G, when he was there, brought a bit of reality back for us in Europe and put us on the map. Exactly. You know, I mean, apart from Walter in 2008, we have not really cut the heights in Europe, you know. We've been in the Champions League and all that, but we've had mixed results usually. But for what we've done in the Europa League, under Stevie G at the time, and like you say, we went for 100 and what did you say, 129 knots to 41st?
192nd.
All right, 192 to 41, you know, in 3 and a bit years, you know.
151 places outside, that's amazing.
Aye, so, some achievement, mate, and like I said, that's put us back on the map for everybody in Europe to see, you know. It helps the club out, but I think it's time as well, mate. We need to try and pick up some domestic trophies. We want to win the league every year, correct? But I'd like to see us now start to try and pick up the Scot. I'd like us to try and have a right good go at this Scottish Cup this year and try and see if we could achieve that along with the league title at the end of the season. And whether we get another round of 16 in Europe or whatever will be a bonus, and it'll be great for the board and the club. But the most important thing, mate, is the league, and then gets you the kudos to go into the Champions League next year. So I'd love to see us back in the Champions League. It's a long time since we've been in there, so I'd really love to see us back in the Champions League, mate, if I'm honest.
Southside, I think at the end of the day, it's like, and I've not been like big-headed here, but Rangers have done all the work to get the coefficient up for us to be in a position that if a team wins in Scotland this year, we automatically go in the Champions League. And I think it would be really, it'd be upsetting, obviously, but it'd be rotten for us to do all that hard work. Again, Rangers, the bottom team, the lowest team in Europe, the lowest team in Scotland, the pittance, for us to get us there, to get into this now, we have to win the league this year, we've got it.
Oh, 100%, mate, 100%. You know, we've done all the hard work, like you said, so this year was a massive season for us, and it was about cementing it and just winning this league and getting us into the Champions League. Because, to be honest, we'll sell players in the summer and we'll have to recruit players. That's just a natural progression of the club. I'm not saying we bust the bank to go for Champions League. I'm no. Stay within your limits. But the fact is, I want to be at Ibrox and see Rangers in the Champions League. It's been a long time since we've been in the competition. We blew it this year against Malmo. So this year, we have to win this league and we go straight in, and it'll be amazing for all the supporters, everybody, to turn up at Ibrox in a Champions League night, you know. And then if you're lucky enough to get an away trip as well, brilliant for the supporters, you know. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Southside, what you were saying there, it's like everybody kens what the Ibrox crowd could do in the Ibrox Road, and we've got the passion. Everybody talks about being at Ibrox. But I can guarantee you one thing, the new is next season we win that league, that road is going to be electrified by 1,000% if it's the Champions League music.
Aye, mate. Nights at Ibrox are electric, pal, aren't they? You know, something that we all get up for, and it's great to see other teams come and see good players, and it's a different type of football, and you get a bit more time and space in Europe sometimes. So, mate, it's just something we're all looking forward to, you know.
Definitely, Southside, definitely. I mean, can I say one thing now, here is, see the game on Sunday, I'm not going to try to do this pivotal, but we will really see if Gio's starting to work his magic, which I think he will do. I've been a supporter for 45 years, and at the end of the day, that game there is the pivotal one, I think, for the hell of the season, because it's a plastic pitch, it's not there. They'll play the snow, it'll be all melted off, but it's going to be like playing on shards of glass. And at the end of the day, whether Livingston's a good team or not, they can defend, and they can how to defend, they can how to set up the banks at 5 and the banks at 5 in a boring game. But we'll see the real Rangers on Sunday, and if we come away, and I can a lot of guys saying, especially all year, it's like the all 1-0 win. I'm no bothered. It's a positive result in a bad time, and we're moving on in a good position now. Sunday is pivotal for us. And I'm not saying it's the end of the season. I'm not saying that we will win, we're going to get beat now. But what is the mentality in the boys going at what that?
I think I don't think you're alone in thinking that about the attitude and the message it sends out. Andy, you bang that drum quite a lot about attitude, mate.
Yeah, I think that's key, you know, to any football, but especially our team. Like, you know, that you know, if we come out, I think if we come out with that right intensity, 9 times out of 10. We usually go on and, well, we did last season, we go on and do it. I always think that when we can get the early goal and then follow it up around about the 20-minute mark, 25-minute mark with a second, then we're usually okay. It's when they come out with that attitude, well, it's going to happen, or they just can't seem to move through the gears. And then as the game stays 0-0 or whatever, and they come on, we tend to retreat a wee bit. Then it gets very, very choosy and nervy at the back end there, right enough. But I've got a funny feeling that that we usually struggle at this. But I've just got a funny feeling this week that we're going to come out and try and impose ourselves all over this mob straight away. And I think if we do that, hopefully we'll be saying, after the after show, or what a great performance to put on there, and on we go.
We need to defend
I'm enthusiastic.
better.
That's the constant worry, because I still don't think it could have been, apart from the big shagger there last night with 2 wonder saves, that could have been the one goal. They're still getting cut through at times. I think we're left back and we're right back. Barry said, I don't think you can defend for fun. He doesn't read the game properly. I thought Big Bassey had got, as I said last night, I thought Big Bassey helped him out the first 20 minutes there. He was covering for him and all that. He gets caught the wrong side of his player all the time. And he tends to drop his head when the guys are, putting a ball in across him. But, he did all right, that's what I'll say. But as I've said to you many, many times, as you know, that's the softest Croatian I've ever come across. It's not what you expect of their players. He must be, the run, the letter when it comes to that, in my opinion. But he's got, if he plays, he's got to get up, and he's got to learn that. Get tight, get your man sorted. We can't have people coming out and protect him. He's there to do a job. I know he's there to run up the park and put these crosses in, and has a free kick out now and again. But first and foremost, he's got to make sure that when we're getting attacked, he's got to be there to make sure he does his job as a defender. And I know in the modern day it doesn't work like that, but at the end of the day, you've still got to defend your own goal. So that's what I'd like to see a little bit more out of him, and Tavernier, to be honest with you. But I'm not knocking him, because, as I say, that humble pie's still weighing heavy on me. So I'm just going to just play all right here at the moment.
Big Bassey, he's becoming a cult hero, isn't he? Southside.
I've always liked him.
He did a decent game last night at the centre back position, and I think he's a wee bit of a favourite, Andy, with some of the supporters.
Yeah,
I thought Borna done quite well last night, to be honest. I thought he'd done a lot of running off the ball and all that. And his deliveries for set pieces. See, at the end of the day, Andy, the way I look at it is, I'm not going to think what the players did last week, the week before, and that under Gerrard. I'm looking at what they're going to do now. So I'm judging the players, every single one of them, from now on. For Thursday night onwards, I'm judging them now on performance. What they've done past the start of the season under Stevie G is totally different. So I'm just judging them now, mate, to be honest,
It's how they respond to the new manager, isn't it? That's what it's all about. And Tavernier says in his interview today that they liked it, they thought it was very refreshing, and they're going to buy into him. So, they've had chances before. Like you say, they've gone now. Let's see if this manager, they're going to listen to him and really put the hard yards in to get the benefits of what we hope the games are going to bring us after each game, and that's the 3 points that we're looking for, isn't it? So yes, I agree with yourself, Side. Let's go forward now. There's no point going about what they've done. That's past, it's gone. Can't you change that, can we? But what we do going forward, well, we can,
You back with us, John?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
That's all right, wasn't it? It happens, mate, it happens. Listen, mate, first time caller?
Third time now.
Oh, is it? Third time, all right, okay, mate.
A bit sober tonight.
All right, I remember now.
Evening, John.
Hi there, Andy. How we doing?
So, how's it going to go for you on Sunday? Gaff that fence, make a prediction.
Me personally, I think we're going to, as possession based, yes, but I think we're going to be seeing a Debo through the middle, and like Haji just playing that wee bit of different role. I'm going for 2-0. 2-0. I'm not saying we're the finished article yet, by far from it, but the other night was great. Last night was great. We didn't concede the first goal. In fact, it was a clean sheet. That was so relieving. That was what we were based upon last season. So I'm going to go for 2-0 on Sunday.
Aye, I'm happy with that. Paul Davey.
I'm going to go for a squeaky bum 1-0. Because I tell you, if the wee Davy, the Livingston manager, if you better believe he'll be lobbing every high ball in that back three. And that's where our Achilles is at the moment. I'll tell you that. And that's the way they play.
Mm-hmm. We got tested there night, though, and we come up good. We come up drums. And
we were lucky to come up. We were just lucky. That was luck.
Well, sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's actually what you deserve, sometimes it's football, neighbour. That's what it's all about, Again, we have to look for positivity. For our club, for what we achieved last year, we've had too much negativity. Even myself at Parshu, last night I said to my neighbour, we're going to have to look for a new keeper, we're going to play McCorry. Again, who's going to play? And then McGregor goes and does that. Absolutely, terrific. Again, I need to stop shutting my face and quite a lot of jeers doing all, and just let's see what happens, because we are the people, guys. Come on. Early days still.
Couldn't have put it better myself, Linda.
Well said, John. Well said. I just think on Sunday, Ox, I hope, because it's an early game, sometimes we don't start these early games well, but let's get on the front foot, play the game in their half. But if we get a 1 or a 2-0 victory, that'll do me. A good performance is a bonus, but let's not make any mistakes. Don't let them get needless corners or free kicks, and just keep them out of our box. And hopefully we'll take a couple of chances. But you never know, maybe Gio's got something up his sleeve, because he got something out of them on Thursday, and he's the sort of guy I think that'll have done his homework as well for Livy.
When I was talking to Gio on the phone, I said I fancied us to win 4-0 on Sunday. And you're
going to have to stop talking to Gio on the phone, neighbour.
That's the hotline he's got, John.
Aye, it's a hotline.
He'll regret giving me his number.
That's your new Scottish coaching, John.
Is that what it is? Aye. Brilliant, guys. I love the banter, I love the patter. We are the people,
Aye, we certainly are. Chris Boyd put it lovely last night, didn't he? Southside, I loved it. Found that funny.
Aye, brilliant, mate. It was absolutely brilliant. Superb for the big man. Aye, I'm sure he'll have plenty more up his sleeve this season as long as we keep winning, and I'm sure we will. This is our year. We've got to go out here and smash them now. This is a league coming up. Once we get Leon out the road, and see, to be honest, it's a free hit for us. Doesn't matter. Starting for Livingston on Sunday, then we go to Spoon Burners. We've got them on the Wednesday night, as Jimmy would say, and we just batter them or not, and we just keep going. The league focus now is right up to the new year. We've got a few hefty away games, but it's Rangers. You're under pressure every time you play for Glasgow Rangers. You don't come to Rangers and not get pressure. So it's about attitude, adapting, positivity, and just get out there and give your manager your all. All we ask for is support, is to give your all for us for 90 minutes on the park, or for how long you're on the park. Don't cheat us supporters when we're standing there paying our money to watch you. We're only asking you to go out and try your best. And see, if you try your best and you don't have a good game, fair enough, it happens.
Well said, well said.
Definitely Southside.
What's the score going to be?
I'm going for 2-0, mate. Alfie a double.
All right. Andy, you going to bet heavy the weekend, or just give the money to your son-in-law?
No, I'm going to make a venture out there, because I've got to get a couple of bottles of vodka for Sunday, so I'll go and put it on myself. I'm going to have a daft one, right? I'm going to go daft on the 4-1, 4-2, but in my head, I think if we come out right, I think it'll be 2-0, 2-1. But I just worry that with the defence is still not right, so that's my thinking in the crazy bits, right enough. If it comes in and so be it, I only do it for fun, I always do the daft ones. I never take the line serious, and if they come in, But 2-0, 2-1, if we come out with the right attitude. But to get another clean sheet, 2 on the bounce, that would be more encouraging for me going forward, because then we're actually shutting it up at the back and not being stupid and conceding the first goal all the time. I think we've got to definitely cut that out now. That puts you behind the 8 ball before you even start, no matter who you're playing. You lose the first goal, especially these teams that dig in. It gives them something to cling to. So let's go out there and get the first goal, and then we might see a different Rangers coming forward on top of them.
I'm looking forward to the game now, Linda. Now that Thursday's out the way, the club's got all the revenue coming in, which is going to help. Let's go out on Sunday and keep the positivity alive.
Oh, definitely, Ox. And at the end of the game, everybody was delighted, weren't they? The fans, what an atmosphere it was. And as you say, everything's it's positive. It's more positive than it's been. We've got Gio in, and we've got that kind of good new manager bounce to a certain degree. But I fancy is maybe to do 3-0 on Sunday. And I'm going to go for a Bassey to get the first goal from a corner, and then a double from Alfie, the same as Southside.
All right, okay. Right, okay.
Well said, Linda, well said.
I'm putting that on as a bet, Linda. Thank you.
Go for it, John.
I'm going for it.
All right. 12 o'clock.
Would it be his first goal for Rangers, would it, Bassey?
Bassey, yes, first goal.
Yeah, definitely. If I know, the guy's a Trojan horse, guys.
Oh, he's a unit. He's 21 years of age, Southside. He's got a lot of attributes, hasn't he?
He's powerful. He gets forward. He's keen as mustard, isn't he? He tries his heart out.
He's
quick, and he'll know. He doesn't struggle at a tackle, But he's still got a lot to learn, and hopefully we're going to guide him in the right way, Ox, and he'll progress as our eventual probably left back in time if Borna leaves. Because you've got to remember, guys, we're going to have to sell some players in the summer, and we'll be bringing in new players anyway. So, but as we asked for them as well, you're at our club, you try your heart out 100%, week in, week out. That's all we ask for,
Yeah.
Southside.
Even when that boy's not the greatest game, Andy, you couldn't fault his endeavour, could you?
No, there's something about him that I've liked from day one. I've said that constantly. Like you said there, I used to be a cheeky bugger when I was younger. I'd take all colours on, but I think twice about him, definitely, even in the pump. But no, I do like him, and I think he will progress into a very good player. His willingness and his heart to play for the jersey, that's what shines through for me with him, And, he's made, if you look at it, he's made quite a few appearances now, more than probably a lot of us would have thought he would have done. So a long way to continue, and I hope he does get better. It's a great place. I think, whatever I read him talk, he loves the club. So he can grow into it and really get what we're about, and he could become, a cult figure going forward. But
is that a big asset for him? For you, Linda, the fact he can play a couple of positions, is that what helps him get in the team?
I think so, Ox. And who'd have thought we would only ended up with one recognised centre back? Considering did we have 5 or 6 at the beginning of the season? So I think it is an asset, and I've got to admit he's playing better than I thought he was. I wasn't sure about him, but certainly it's just defend first and foremost. Don't make any mistakes, but his enthusiasm, and you can tell he's really loving playing for the club, and it's quite infectious, isn't it? And you can't help but like him. He really is he's a great big guy.
Well, boys and girls, we've reached that time of the evening. Davey, it's time for your cocoa, mate.
Well, I'll just put a wee word before I go. I think one thing we're all missing here is we're all on about the Rangers. That man came up to go to win all their games or not, by the way.
Good point. Are you Coco or Ovaltine, David? What do you go for?
Between... That Linda's terrible, isn't she? I never seen a word there, and she's away. She's off on one.
Davey.
He's an Ovaltine, Linda.
Davey, you're still my favourite.
It's your mine and all, and no, I'm a Bovril man. That's what happens when you went to football. You got a pie and a Bovril, and the wee guy in the park came round walking round and went, "Here a macaroon bar and a spearmint chewing gum."
Right,
that time.
What about the cheesy meat rolls, Davy?
Okay, I'll catch up with you guys. Stay safe.
Cheers, Davy.
Cheers, Davy.
Cheers, Davy. Listen, John, thanks for the call, mate. Good to speak to you again.
No problem, Ox, man. Take care, guys.
All the best, John.
Speak to you soon, John.
We are the people.
Cheers.
Go.
Well, it's been eventful, so
It certainly has, mate. It certainly has. It's been a good night, a good wee discussion. Just thanks to you and Linda for having us on tonight, mate. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Looking forward to Sunday.
GFK was meant to be out tonight, but he's away out with Mr. Souness. So there we are.
Oh, right, aye. Oh.
Yes. Thanks to you, over to you, Linda.
Yeah, great night at Southside said. Lots of great chat. It was great being on with Southside tonight, and obviously your good self, Fox. Lots of good banter, and the callers were great. So looking forward to the game on Sunday. So let's keep the feel good factor going, Rangers, and just get us a victory.
I think you've got a fan in all, Davey. I think you have, Linda. I think you've got a fan. Listen, can I thank all the callers, Andy, Davey, Agnes, and John. I hope I've not missed anybody out. I don't think I have. But thanks to Linda and Southside for doing the show. Thanks to Fox and Old Schoolboy for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back. Fox's favourite time, 11 o'clock on Sunday, the pre-match show. Take it away, Old Schoolboy.
Sorry, boys. We are the people who sing of victory until the football glory from Kilmarnock to Dundee. We follow Glasgow Rangers, our hearts are strong and true. We are the people who cheer the boys in blue. A goal, we're ready to acclaim. A goal, to win another game. We follow Glasgow Rangers, our hearts are strong and true. We are the people who cheer the boys in blue. We'll be there at Ibrox when Rangers take the field. They'll follow on to triumph, for we know they'll never lose. And 60,000 voices will cheer the whole game through. We are the people who cheer the boys in blue. A goal, we're ready to acclaim. A goal, to win another game. We follow Glasgow Rangers, our hearts are strong and true. We are the people who cheer the boys in blue.
Keep it going. Keep it going.